Real Talk with Grace Redman features conversations with fierce and fabulous people from Grace's community and circle who inspire others with their stories of overcoming challenges to create amazing. Grace is an entrepreneur and success coach who works with individuals to diminish their negative mental chatter, boost their confidence, achieve their goals, and increase their prosperity mindset. Get ready for a series of anything goes conversations with remarkable men and women that will get you jazzed for life's unlimited possibilities of success, freedom, and fun. Welcome to Real Talk with Grace Redman.
Hey loves, welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where I get to have real life, raw conversations with incredible people from my circles and communities who have overcome challenges to create fabulous. Today, I am super excited to be here with my incredible guest, Shadia Hanna.
Hello.
Shadia was born and raised in Philadelphia and is a first-generation Palestinian-American. She graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Chemistry from Villanova University and has worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 19 years. She started as a bench chemist, and as her career progressed, she was promoted to principal investigator and then to laboratory manager. A few years ago, Shadia was motivated to open her own lab. She is now the CEO and co-founder of Origin Bioanalytical Laboratory, a pharmaceutical testing laboratory providing research and development services for new medications undergoing preclinical and clinical trials for submission to the FDA. Girl, you're a rock star.
You sound so perfect. Wow. I don't know how you got that.
That's you. That's all you.
Me?
Oh, it's so awesome to have you here.
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me on, Grace. This is such a great opportunity. I appreciate it.
Really, my pleasure. And I have so many questions for you because it's just an incredible journey that you've been on. And one of the first questions is, what made you decide to study chemistry? Like, science is so fascinating. I would never think of science because my brain doesn't go that way. So what motivated you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people wonder that about me. We know Palestinians are very intelligent people.
Yes.
But I've always wanted to be a doctor. I always wanted to help people. It's just my nature. I've always been involved in, if anyone has a problem or an issue, I've always somehow been the one that people gravitate towards. And so growing up in high school, I thought maybe I'd want to be a pediatrician, help children and be in the medical field for sure. I did really well in school in terms of math and science. I wasn't really an English history buff, although I enjoy history. I just don't retain that information very well.
Like I don't do science very well, but I could talk your ear off.
Right. Yeah. So, I was more involved in that, but I realized as, I grew up in a family business. My mom owned a bridal shop. And so we dealt with the public a lot. And so as I was in my high school years trying to get ready and prepare for what I was going to study in college, I realized, I really didn't want to be hands-on first person to be involved with the public. I didn't really want to have that person-to-person interaction because I had that through the bridal shop my whole life. Mm-hmm. And it was great. It was a great experience, and it actually molded my life really. But it was very challenging to please people. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want to then realize that I didn't really want to be a doctor because I would have to be dealing with the parents, which I had been dealing with in the bridal shop. Not necessarily a great parallel, but there are some aspects about it that, you're doing something, happy occasion, trying to make people happy and trying to please them. We were a service business, so we did a lot. But some people you just couldn't please. No. And so I learned that at a very, very young age.
Smart woman. Learned that at a young. We cannot please everyone.
No. And so I had decided that I wanted to still be in the medical pharmaceutical field. Didn't necessarily want to be a pharmacist because, again, you're dealing with the public. So I kind of went the backdoor route and said, okay, well, I want to be in research and development, and so I kind of knew, like, by junior year of high school, like, I was going to study chemistry. So,
which is incredible, because typically, junior year in high school, we were 16, 17
yeah,
years old, and most of us are still just exploring, our adolescence, and how incredible that as a junior in high school, you already knew, like you had
yeah,
this passion.
yeah. And I think that, it was molded really from the influence I had around me. My parents were both immigrants, and they didn't have college educations. And that was really important to them, that their children all went to college and got educations and were able to have a career. And so I'm grateful to my parents for believing in us and putting us through school. And we didn't go to, just any school. My parents really wanted us to excel. So they put us in whatever school they felt was best. And they actually, as an Arab growing up in the Palestinian culture and Arab society, everything was really strict. So, junior year, we weren't really allowed to party and go do things. But my parents did provide, fun and everything on weekends with the Arab community. So we were heavily involved with them, and we did a lot of activities with them, parties, all within the Arab community, which was wonderful.
Yes.
But there were a lot of people in that community that I grew up around that influenced me heavily. And so one of the people, aren't with us today. God rest his soul. But he actually took me into a laboratory in my high school years and showed me where he worked. And I think that was where it just clicked in my mind, like, wow, I do really want to do this, So I think it's just the influence that you're provided with too.
For sure. And it sounds like also everything unfolds the way it's meant to, God, the universe, like you had this passion, and it brought the right, people into your space to help you get to where, you were going.
Yes.
And, I want to speak to the community, what you mentioned. I think one of the most incredible pieces of my childhood was being involved in our community, like having that community, having people around all the time. And it takes a tribe, it takes a community. And I know you grew up in Philadelphia, and I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. And let me tell you what a gift our communities are. What a gift to have that privilege to grow up just with so many people around you and so many cousins. So that was amazing.
Yes.
So you knew what you wanted, like he took you into the lab.
And
was it that easy? Was it just like, okay, I'm going to go to 4 years of college, I'm going to, become a scientist? What kind of
none of it
you faced?
None of it was easy, because when I told my parents what I wanted to do, they were like, no, you're going to study business and you're going to take over the family business. Right.
So tough to walk away from that.
Yeah. So actually, it was a very difficult journey through college because, the courses you had to do like undergraduate research. And so, my dad, he's an amazing, amazing person, and really instilled all this into us, both my parents. But they really wanted me to run the business for the rest of my life. And I knew that's not what I wanted to do. Now, all through college, went to school. So I commuted. We weren't allowed to live on campus, which is fine. I commuted, but then after school, I'd go to the bridal shop, go and help out the family business, weekends, same thing. So, I've always been involved with it. I was running the shop at some point with my mom. But it was very challenging because, as the years progressed, my dad's like, are you sure you want to still do this? Are you sure? Because I'm not going to have you go to the Villanova University to tell me that you're going to change your major. So there was a lot of pressure as well. I knew what I wanted to do, so I don't feel that I was pressured, but, reverse psychology for him somewhat worked because I was working harder.
I applaud you, because again, we're young, we're teenagers, we're influenced easily for the most part by our families because they want the best for us. What I love was that you knew what you wanted, and you didn't allow that voice from the outside to steer you off course. Tell me a little bit about that. What helped you stand, in your power to say, no, this is what I want? Because it's not always easy to say no to the family business.
No, and it's not easy to say no to my father. And I know he had always good intentions, and he still does. He's always had the best of intentions for all of his children. He just wanted to keep us directly on the right path. And that was his way of doing it. So it was very difficult because he was, we grew up in a strict household. So but I guess I just had to prove it to him. So it was a point of time where one of the biggest challenges was I have to get good grades and I have to succeed in this because otherwise I'm going to disappoint my father, and I can tell you the day that I graduated, he was like the most proud man, ever. So
I feel so emotional just you saying that. What a blessing.
Yeah. Like he was happy that I actually, stuck with it and was able to go get through it and, was going to hopefully one day have a career in sciences. He can go around and tell people about that. And I think that he was happy about that. But mostly, happy for me. And I did get a job like right out of college, at a lab. So
I love that. I love that. I'm going to take a minute because these comments are coming through. Let's see who's with us. Tammy Cantrell, Johnny. Hello, Tammy. Hey, Johnny. Deanna, Amira.
Oh, Amira's on. She should be in school.
Claudia's with us. Oh, really? She went. That's awesome, Donna. I love it. They're so proud of you. Yes, strong, intelligent. Thank you.
Thank you.
The energy feels so amazing. So thank you, everyone, for being here with us because this is just amazing to be able to celebrate Shadia today. So I love the backstory you gave because, you said, this is my passion. This is what I wanted to do. This is the career I wanted. And right out of college, you went into the lab and you were, you progressed and were promoted fairly quickly. And then eventually you're motivated to start your own business. So you went back to entrepreneurship. Tell me a little bit about that journey and what took you from, corporate into being the CEO of the company.
So actually when I was working in corporate, when I first got my first job, I was like, oh, this is great. You get benefits, you get retirement plans. I was like, I would never want to open my own business. What was my mom doing this whole time? So I never actually thought I would start a business because it is difficult. It's very challenging. And, keeping up with the day-to-day, keeping up with the work. It's a 24/7 job. It's not, you never have time off. Weekends were shot for us growing up. So we were always working. And so I told myself, oh, I'm so happy I'm in the corporate world. I don't have to worry about any of that. This is the route everyone should take. So did that for a long time. And then I moved out. Once I got married, I moved out to Sacramento area. It was actually very difficult to find a job here because there's not a lot of biotech out here. I thought California would be great, but it's actually more San Francisco was the place to be. So it was challenging finding a job in the lab here. But I did find one. It was a small business that eventually went corporate. And once that switched into corporate, there was a lot of changes happening. When it was a smaller company, it was more family oriented. Everybody kind of enjoyed being at work. But with corporate taking over, there were a lot of changes and a lot of demands and things like that. And at one point, my company that was in the Sacramento area had shut down and moved to San Diego. We had a sister lab in San Diego, so they merged the two together. So we lost most of the workforce. A couple people moved down to San Diego. They were asking me to move down. There was, our roots are all based here. We weren't planning on uprooting everyone and moving down there. And so I had run the lab for about 1.5 to 2 years, training everyone. I had to fly down there, train everyone. Eventually, I actually stayed on working remotely for them. I actually begged the company to keep me because of my clients. My clients needed some data and they needed their reports. And so I always treated it like my own business, even though I was working for corporate. So I asked my company, can you just keep me on for a few months? I'd like to tie up some loose ends for some of these clients. They really need this data to submit to the FDA. And so they kept me on for a few months on contract. And then I guess they realized that it wasn't working down there. So then they brought me back on. And we're like, we just need you to run everything. We just need you to have everyone report to you. We need people trained. We need this, we need that. So essentially, I was a principal investigator working in Sacramento. And then as, the company merged, I was then laboratory manager, managing it mainly from home. Yeah, remotely mostly, which was really difficult. I I was up all hours, making sure everybody got what they needed, clients got what they needed, managing clients and people. It was a really struggling time, and it's basically at that point I was like, I should just be running my own business. Like, this is crazy.
And and I also know, because I know you personally, and you also have a family.
Yeah.
And so managing the family and managing the business, your position as the manager and the investigator.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit how you're even able to kind of get through that time.
Yeah. It was difficult. I had my third child in November 2014, and we were notified February 2015 that the company was going to shut down. So
a lot in a few months.
Yeah. So I just was returning back from maternity leave to say, you're going to not have a job in like 3 months.
How did you take that news, especially as a, third baby, and just like there's so much going on?
There was just so much going on. And, I just try to stay positive. And I believe, and I know this is cliche, but, I believe things happen for a reason.
100%. I do not think that's cliche. I live my life that way.
Yeah. And so I think at the time it was, something that was telling me, you need to get away from this company. You need to go away. And I didn't go away, right? I kept holding on. I kept begging them, my clients, put them first. And I need to continue working at this company. And I tried to do that, but then I was only hurting myself. I wasn't really, it wasn't benefiting me or my family. I was, home, but I wasn't home. So it was nice a little bit because I was able to drop off, pick up my kids. But with my, he was easy. He was a great baby. Thank God.
God is good. God is good.
Yeah. So he was able to, I was able to manage the work and everything. And it was great. But, the challenging part was leaving them for a week at a time with my husband, who was working full time, and managing the kids. So, we're grateful for the people that were around us to help us through those times.
Amen.
And that's all we can do. But, at the time I had my husband in my ear and a friend of mine calling me in San Diego, I remember, and I was just sitting there in my hotel room, still working after I just was at the lab the entire day training people. And they're like, you need to do this for yourself. You need to do this for yourself.
It's not easy. I believe, not just as women, but I'm sure men too. It's like we do so much for so many. We want to be there for
everything and everyone.
Our role in our career. We want to be there for our employees. We want to be there for our families. We want to be there for everyone, that we lose sight of ourselves.
Yes.
And then that's when we get depleted. And that's when God closes one door.
Yes.
So we can walk through another, because we don't see the sign. I mean, I've been there. There's so many times, like, I've known I should take a different route, but I don't want to disappoint anyone. I can do this. I can work hard. I can work late.
Yeah.
Because I was tying it to my worth. And then here comes God. He slams the door. And then, okay, now it's time to take a
You need to stop. Yeah.
So what was the point? Where was the point when you stopped?
I was at the point where I wasn't even, seeing my family, my immediate family. I was just closed in a room or my office in the house all the time. I was leaving. I saw my kids kind of, mommy's never home. I miss mommy. My son just, he was great, but I wanted to see him growing up. I wanted, because that was my last baby. So, and it is my last baby. I'm not going to have any more. So, I wanted to see him. And the main thing that they were adding more and more. So they had eventually fired all of the project managers and principal investigators in San Diego. And then all of that work came on my plate. So I was literally just drowning in work and not having a life and just being exhausted all the time. And it just wasn't worth it. And so I kind of went to them and just said, you know what, my contract ends in December that year. And I was like, I'm done. I'm going to Philadelphia for 3 weeks to see my family and visit family. And I don't want to work anymore. We'll just end my contract now. And at that time, I think I called you because I wanted to start doing like a consulting business. I don't think I was even on the track of opening a lab at the time. But they came to me and they're like, well, what will it take for you to stay? And I was like, well, just double my salary. And they were like, okay.
Go.
And I was like, oh, okay.
But is it always about money?
No. So I told him, look, you can double my salary. I'll be here 3 more months to train people for you and do what I can. But I really need to move on.
Good for you.
I really can't, it wasn't about the money anymore. I'll take the money for the 3 months, but you have 3 months to get me people. I'll fly down there. I'll train. I'll get them all ready to go for you. But I just couldn't do it anymore.
Good for you. And I love how you came back and said double my salary, because I'm reading this book by Rachel Rogers. She talks about we could all be millionaires as women. And us as women, we undervalue ourselves.
Right.
We undervalue ourselves.
We do.
We're afraid to ask. And I'm so happy that you just said, I went back and asked for double my salary.
Right.
I want, our audience to hear that. Like,
yes.
Go back, ask for what you want.
Ask for what you want. You never know. The answer could be no, but you don't know.
Yes.
So.
And so what if it's double? So what if it's triple? Like, where we go back and ask for crumbs? No. We get the whole loaf.
Yeah, you're worth more.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah. So I see a question here from Alexandra. So she says, how do you balance your family time while being present for employees and your business?
Yeah, it's currently, it's, I've made it, I feel like we've built the business where it's manageable. We want that to be manageable because I do have partners in the business, and all of us have children and young children, and so we just try to make sure that we don't take on too much work. We do want to, we are taking on work, but we don't want to, stress the relationship with the client, because our company is based on customer service. It really is. There's an actual need in the pharmaceutical industry for good people that actually care about their drugs and their studies. There's a ton of labs out there that can do the job, but those that will focus on what the client's needs actually are and work with them and hold their hands and let them walk through the process is really what they need. And so we give that attention to those clients. So we can't really take on so many. And we do consulting as well. So there's a lot of work that goes into each and every client and project. So we try to maintain our business, which has been working, but also maintain those clients, because they'll just be repeat customers.
Absolutely.
But we don't take on too much, and we'll let them know, look, our workload is full right now. It'll be, this many weeks out or whatever till we can start. And sometimes that works for them, and sometimes it doesn't. But you can't just say yes to everyone anymore, and move on.
I'm 100% with you. And that's how I run my businesses is It's about the relationships. It's about the service. Could I have taken on more and done more? Sure. But then what kind of service would I be providing?
Exactly.
So I love that you brought up that point, which brings me to another point is, you said, we say no. So what type of boundaries have you had to put in place to balance, the business? Because you can grow so fast.
Yeah,
you got to balance. So what type of boundaries have you had to put in place? I'm
still kind of working on those boundaries. I don't think you ever are able to fully put them in place. I can say, we're very social people. And so a lot of that has been cut back so that we can have more time with our family. Because I'm at the lab every day. So I don't see my kids every day, but I'm grateful that, my husband's able to work from home. And so, he's working though, but he's there at least a parent is present.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I'm happy with that. And my kids know what I'm doing, and, we still talk all day long, but, sorry, where was I going with this?
The boundaries,
the boundaries. Yeah, it's been difficult, and it's the boundaries are still moving, and we want to have fun, and we want to do things, and we want to be out there, but we know we kind of, I don't want to say pick and choose, but we kind of only go to events or something that are really, that we know we're going to be really enjoying it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is part of boundaries, and that's also being discerning with your time and energy, because we can't say yes to everything.
I can't be everywhere. Yeah. Like we used to. We used to attend every event, every wedding, every occasion, and it's just not feasible anymore with the business and keeping the family together and in tune with them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I remember when my kids were young, again, I had the business and the home, and I would get these, you never go out, you never do anything. Well, at that time,
Yeah.
my focus was my family, and my business. Now, did I go out here and there? Sure, but I had to be discerning,
Right.
which brings me to, another question about delegating.
Oh, still working on that too.
So, as a CEO and me with my businesses, I've had a hard time delegating. However, and tell me if this resonates with you, I recognize to grow and expand my businesses, I had to delegate, learn to delegate, and build a team around me.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Like, how are you?
I have an amazing team that we work with at Origin. Our team was basically built around everyone's expertise, and now everyone can kind of do what everyone else does. And that's what when we bring people on the team, we want them to be versatile. We want them to learn everything. And it doesn't mean that they have to stay with us. It's good knowledge and good, we're happy for people to come in and learn and grow, so that if they wanted to move on, they have all these skills that we've put in them. But our team from the beginning was everyone had their part to play, and we can overlap, but we have such a strong team.
That's
and we put those roles in place from day one.
That's key.
And and I'm still happy till now to say that everyone we've brought on has those values and work ethic, and they're all amazing. And we can't be who we are and do what we do without all of them.
Amen.
And as we grow, yes, we do need to delegate. So, we have to slowly hire, but we hire for certain things. And, a lot of it's a lot of work.
It is.
Like HR is a lot of work. So getting the right people and putting the right things in place for that. Yeah.
Time. Yeah. And you said you have an incredible team, and because you're incredible and you're serving from the heart, it is a laboratory, but it's also a heart-based business because you're serving your clients from a place of like, you want to take care of them. So I find it just so natural that you attracted this incredible team.
Yes.
Around you. And same with me. I have an incredible team. I couldn't, do the businesses without my team. And like you said, delegating, I think is always a work in progress. There's always more we can give away.
Right.
And again, it's just, little by little we do that. I think there's more questions. So let me see. Okay. So Juanita says, yes, ask for what you want. I did with my current job when I was negotiating my salary and got what I wanted. Awesome.
Good job. Yep.
And then Alexandra says, do you hope one day your children will follow your footsteps for all your hard work, or do you encourage them to do as they desire?
I do encourage them to do as they desire, as I did. I never want to pigeonhole my children into thinking they have to take over the family business. It would be amazing. I do see one of my children that's kind of more science bound eventually. But my other one is, might be part of the business. There's so many aspects of a business that they could do, and that could contribute to the business. So, it's really up to them. It's their choice. And I encourage any choice that they make. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. One of my sons is like, let me take over, your staffing business. I said, you know what? I know that's really not what you want to do. Right. So go find you, baby. Go find you. So,
yeah. And if it ends up that's where he's at, then it wouldn't hurt. Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt. But I know him. I'm like, you're gonna find yours. So here's a question. Do you believe as women, as mothers, as caretakers, because there's, you don't always have to be a mom to be the caretaker, but do you believe that we can have it all?
I do. I think if you, put yourself there, I think you can climb whatever ladder you want to climb. I think you can do what you want to do. I never saw any boundaries as a woman. In my industry, it is, I believe it is mostly dominated by men. But I didn't let that discourage me from what I wanted in life. And so I had a lot of men that influenced me, a lot of them that I worked with that are my mentors. And when, you get that respect, you earn that respect. So I think if you just put yourself where you want to be and have your intention in the right path, then, no one can stop you. I think you just need to move forward.
I agree. I absolutely agree. We can have it all.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the all may not be in that same moment. It'll be,
Right.
spread out. Like there's times where I'd have to focus on the kids and business and maybe not so focused on, my social life.
Yeah.
I feel like we can have it all, and it can look any way we want it to look.
Yes,
It can look
exactly.
any way. So here's a question. How do you celebrate yourself?
Yeah, that's I am very humble. I don't take compliments very easy, and I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve. Again, I couldn't achieve it with the people around me. I've had so many good, my husband's my rock, so much good support. And you actually through the process learn who those supports are.
Yeah.
But I don't, I guess, celebrate me because I'm still working towards something. I think I'm never really finished. I think I'm just starting I've started my journey. I'm still in the beginning stages of it. The company has been phenomenal. Last year, unfortunately, a lot of companies didn't do so well, and I feel sorry for all those business owners, but we excelled last year. It was our best year so far. So
I love hearing that. Well,
yeah.
girl, that's a celebration.
Yeah, that is a celebration. Yeah, we were happy.
There's so many great celebrations along the way. And I put that question out there to you because I was asked that the other day on another podcast that I was a guest on, and same thing. I was like, I said, I'm embarrassed to say that I really don't stop to celebrate me. And what I want to, highlight to those watching is every day, take a moment to celebrate something that you've done.
Yeah.
Because it makes a difference. And I think that we just want to go to the next thing and we feel like we've never arrived and we can always do better. And I just want to, for me, I want to commit to learning to celebrate. Like I love celebrating you and other women, other people. And it's important
for us. Wonderful.
And it's important for us to learn to celebrate ourselves too.
Yes. We'll learn that at some point. We'll work on that.
Yes.
Again, this is great. This is, I feel honored by you to be asked to be on this show and to talk about my views and answer your questions. And,
I'm so honored. I'm so honored to have you and celebrate you.
Thank you.
Which brings me to what do you believe is the key factor to success?
I believe there's a few things. You do need to be confident. And if you have a gut feeling on something, just go with it.
Girl.
And if you ever work with anybody in terms of a partnership, I would say, look at it as you're approaching a marriage. You're marrying these people that you're partnering up with. And remember that it's for the long haul. So treat it like a marriage and make sure you have the right people surrounding you. I think influential people around you is the key to success, and being around people that are happy for you and want to see you grow and want to see this. You've got all those people that, I can't believe she's going to do that. Well, that's not going to go very well, but you just have to block that out.
Yes.
You can't listen to any of that.
And I really love how you brought that point up, because as I was reading Rachel Rogers' book the other day, she talked about, and I've heard this before, she talks about you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Where are you spending your time?
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Right.
That's a good thing to ponder.
It really is. And then the other piece that you just mentioned was, you're right. You're going to get noise from outside, and the noise is going to be, can you do this? Do you want to do this? Why?
Yeah.
And it's it's not that people are, always haters. It's
No.
just that they're projecting their own insecurities and beliefs. And
Mhm.
how do you, how do you block that out?
Yeah. You just have to. You just have to. Yeah. You just have to learn, if you believe in something and you believe you're going to do something and you have that gut feeling, just stay on your path. Don't listen to the negativity. If the negativity gets too much, you just need to walk away from it.
That's right.
Just don't confront it. Don't be near it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the point of the gut feeling, I can speak to that, because there has been times in business and in my personal life where I have this feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and I overrid it because I wanted to be nice.
Exactly.
And
Nice.
I didn't want to feel like I'm going to hurt someone. And I moved forward, ignoring
Yeah.
my gut feeling. And then I was, disappointed or put into situations that I had to get myself out of. So yes, one of the key factors to success, your gut does not lie.
Yes, that is true.
And so, being the CEO of the company and managing so many different moving pieces, because being, the CEO,
Yeah.
there's you're overlooking everything. Like you said, it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And having the family, what's part of your self-care routine that helps you stay grounded and focused? Because I know you're laser focused, girl.
I am. So one thing, I guess, I have, because I had a lot of difficulty. I didn't know as a CEO when I started this what I was doing. I had no idea. It actually, I had a really great person that was just helping me through the whole process. And I'm so grateful for that, because they wouldn't have survived without that support system again. But I started to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know that people like to do that in the morning. I started with the self-affirmations. I started listening to inspirational podcasts like yours. What was before you started this, but, similar to what you do now, which is amazing. And it really does help people. And so there was a couple of them that, I would get nervous trying to even, I was tasked with finding clients, and luckily I had a lot of past connections that people remembered me. And so I was reaching out to them, but, I had to have conference calls and all of that. And so I'd get nervous and, because it's my own business and I don't want to screw it up and I don't want to lose. And I let everyone down, and so I just had to put myself in a mode of, I can do this. So it was positive affirmations in the morning. I actually did my meditation at night before I went to bed. And actually I had a commute. I commute to work. So it's about a 40-minute commute each way. And a lot of times in the morning was when I got my inspirational podcast or something in on my way to work and on my way to calm myself, ground myself so that I can get through the day. Because there was a lot of things going on in the beginning, a lot of things thrown at me, never expected. Don't really want to talk about them.
It's okay.
I shouldn't talk about them.
Whatever you want to talk about, girl, it's all
right.
you.
But I never thought I'd be in the position that I was in at the time, because there were some times in the beginning of that first year of opening that business, that I just thought we were done. Like our investment was gone. We just got to give up and walk away. And so there was a lot of times where I just was going through what do I do? What do I do? And I kept saying this is going to work. We got to get rid of these people that, it's going to work. And unless we have the right team in place right now, it's not going to work. So there's a lot of things that we did. A lot of things that I had to put myself in the right state of mind. And my family was great the whole time. They supported me. My husband especially was there rooting me on the whole time. You can do this. Don't listen to anybody. Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody bring the business down. You built this, you fought for it. You did this, you keep it going. Mm-hmm. And so we did. And so, I had a lot of help that I needed. And I think the best thing I did was ask for that help.
Mm. Not always easy. However, you bring a point. The best thing I did was ask for that help. And you
Yes.
stayed in the mindset.
Yes.
Stayed in the mindset that even though, which is so powerful, you said, even though like our investment was almost gone, but I knew like I was gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
This is gonna work. Yeah. I just kept saying it's going to work. And so no matter what we have to do, this is going to work. So
and I believe that. I mean, I believe in I believe in those laws. Like if I believe and I know it's going to happen, those possibilities are going to come my way.
Right. And everything, I mean, since day one, when we were starting the business, even though we had troubles, everything else, like when something happened, something else good would happen.
Amen.
And it just fell into place.
Yes.
It was so unexpected a lot of the time. I mean, like we were trying to find somebody to set up our IT network, which has to be super secure because it's, FDA regulated. And so somebody had to do all that. So we were in the middle of bidding all of that. And then unfortunately, my husband ended up was going to lose his job because his boss had passed away. And then his brother had decided to close that business. But John was the IT network, engineer there. And all of a sudden we had all of the equipment we needed at our fingertips at a discounted price. And we had the knowledge and background of somebody who could set the infrastructure up for us.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. That's what the universe. I mean, it just flows. It works.
Just flowed. Like we didn't have the money to go and pay that IT contractor or buy all that high expensive equipment, but
I love this.
I mean, unfortunately there was, my husband lost his job, but gained a different one. But then we got all of the equipment we needed for a discount because we couldn't afford it at that time because we were just spending money without making anything, and that's a lot of times how businesses go.
Sure. And like we said, God closes one door, he opens another, and it always flows. And I truly believe when we stay in that faith, when we know, okay, it's going to work out, that those possibilities come.
Yes.
I also believe when I go into the victim mode and into the negativity, those possibilities don't come.
They don't come.
Or they don't come.
It is true.
So I love that you brought that up. And I want that to resonate, with our audience.
I do too. I mean, you have to remain positive. I know I can say, and I'm sure you can, we've gone through so many difficult situations.
Sure.
Many, many difficult situations. And you just have to stay positive and know what your path is. And I know that's difficult for some people to know. But, you can talk to someone about it. You can find a friend or find anyone that, you can just navigate through that, because really people that really inspire you or, they're willing to help. You just have to find the right people. You have to be around the right people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love your point. Yeah. I mean, I've been through so many, difficult times, and sometimes not that people make fun of me, but they're like, oh, you have rose-colored glasses on. I said, listen, I'm straight up effing aware. I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I know what's going on, but I'm making a choice because I know if I choose to stay positive and stay in gratitude, the possibilities and opportunities are going to come my way.
Yes.
So I don't have rose-colored glasses on.
No.
I choose to stay positive, but there's more questions. Let's see.
Oh.
All right. So Maria says, as a CEO, how do you keep in touch with your employees and continue to make sure your culture is still being practiced? That's a great question.
I'm actually there on site every day, mostly every day. And I like communication. So communication is the key.
Yes.
To a successful business. Everybody needs to be on the same page. We try and keep everybody on the same page. And I don't consider myself, when I'm there, as the CEO. I'm a colleague. I'm working with my colleagues. And so I'm doing what I need to do from a day-to-day perspective. Yes, I have all the corporate stuff that I work on the side, but I don't mix the corporate stuff with the actual day-to-day functions. So yeah, I keep that completely separated so that my employees feel like I'm an equal. And, my partner and I are equal. So we all work together as one unit. And if anybody has an issue or a question, it's all open conversation. Communication, I think, is the key.
I love that answer, and I agree. Communication is key.
Mhm.
And same thing, it's like with my team, I feel like we're equal. And there's things that they support me 1,000% on that I couldn't even do myself. Which
Mhm.
brings me, like, I love what you said. It's like we're all together.
Mhm.
I love this book, The Go Getter, and that's a principle of the book. The Go
Mhm.
Getter is the CEO. There's no difference between the CEO and the janitor. There's like
Nope.
we're all equal
Everybody's the same.
together.
We're all
So
doing the same thing towards the same goal.
I love
Um,
that.
yep.
Yes, the same goal, the same
Yep.
goal. So tell me, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to do in my free time is
What
just
what
sit and
free
watch
time do you
movies.
have? Oh my God.
I don't have too much free time, but when we do, I mean, I love movies. I could just watch movies, any movies, kids movies, adult movies, whatever. Like it's just
Yeah.
we love movies. So that's a really good bonding time for me and the family. And my husband actually he built a movie room, so it was
Nice.
great because during COVID we couldn't go to the movies, and I don't like going to the movies. They love going to the movies, but I love watching them in the comfort of my home.
For sure.
So that's one thing, just doing stuff with the kids, doing
Yeah.
stuff with the family, because I don't feel like I spend enough time with them during the week, even though I'm here every day. But
Connected.
yeah.
For sure. I love that.
So.
And for anyone who's watching who has that entrepreneurial mindset
Mhm.
and wants to start a business,
Mhm.
wants to be their own CEO, what's one word of advice you would give them?
One word of advice to give them. I would say just be confident in your decision. Confidence, I think, is a big one.
Yeah, for sure. Just believe.
You just believe in yourself. Yeah. You can do it. You can do anything.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I never thought I'd be a CEO of a lab.
I mean, incredible story, and
Yeah.
just so inspiring, and
Yeah.
so many beautiful nuggets of wisdom
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being here and shining your light and inspiring us. And
Thank you,
just
Grace. You
talking about
inspire us every day with what you're doing. I mean, this is an amazing podcast. I've listened to every episode.
Well,
Everyone you've had on has been and it's just good to listen to that, even if you're already in a positive mindset. If you're not, definitely listen to Grace's podcast. Everyone has a different story, and they're all inspirational.
Everyone has a different story, and like you said, everyone's inspiring. Everyone created fabulous in so many different ways, and it's just an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you and the other incredible people, because we're so blessed to have some really, really amazing, incredible talent in our community. And I am blessed that I get to highlight and celebrate all you incredible people. So it's amazing to be here with you today. So if someone in my audience is watching and they happen to be in the pharmaceutical industry, how can I get a hold of you?
You can, we have our website, www.originbiolab.com, all one word. And you can find me there. My email's on there, but my email is shadia.hanna@originbiolab.com. And you can just email us, or, I think my phone number is probably on there as well. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions, whether it's, laboratory related or just business related. I'd be happy to talk to anyone about challenges that you're facing or things that you need to overcome. I've got a lot of experience.
And also, we will have all of your information at the end of the podcast and the links for everyone to reach you if they weren't able to get it today. So Thank you so much for joining us. And for all of you listening and watching, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed our podcast, please feel free to share it and rate us. We would really appreciate it. Until the next time, make it a fabulous day. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, love. Thank you so much for listening today. I am so grateful for you. I'd like to show you my appreciation by gifting you a free forgiveness self-hypnosis audio download. Part of living the fun and fabulous life is practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness can be such a long and challenging process. My intention is that this forgiveness audio will help you in practicing forgiveness, especially with yourself. Grab it by visiting daretoachieve.com/forgiveness. For more inspiring tips, make sure to connect with me on social media. Drop me a line on Facebook or Instagram at Grace Redman Dare to Achieve. Until next time, keep moving forward towards living your fabulous life.